So good morning, everyone. Anyone that tunes in to occasionally on my podcast or any of my videos, mainly my podcast is on Spotify, Apple Play, Google Play, and a couple of other platforms. I have decided to do two small videos. I got two podcasts scheduled this week, and I'm going to postpone one of them. And that will be on Sunday. And we're on a little mini vacation mixed in with doing some research and doing things we need to do for anybody that knows. Not that they care, but this will be our second home, whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So every time we spend time down here, we go and check on things. I've made a few connections down here and asking questions, checking property and RV parks and just different things I've been doing over the years. So this is a slow transition and little things are starting to take shape. So we try to blend it in with the vacation and that as well. And as you see, I got too much sun already. I ended up running for about an hour and a half yesterday. I really don't start training until I get back. Thought I'd be okay without sunblock till I got to the beach and was relaxing and chilling out, and I ended up with my shirt on half the time, put sunblock, smothered twice, wore my sun hat, and I'm still fucking baked. But I'm gonna do another video later in the week, and then the podcast will be on Sunday. Normally I would have did another one yesterday. Sitting on a patio drinking coffee, just thinking in the mornings like I do when I'm down here, which is either before my workouts or after my workouts. Today I'm not running. I'm going to maybe do a little bit of swimming later and just do some basic stuff, and then I'll run again tomorrow. This is just setting up the podcast. I just thought I'm going to do a video real quick. So, something that people don't talk about enough. And I didn't realize a lot of these things. Again, when you self-educate yourself a lot, I know a lot of people don't like to recognize that. They don't like to acknowledge it. When you self-educate yourself the way some of us have, and then you combine that with the life experience and the shit that some of us have been through, and we have not become a victim. We have not become a victim of circumstance. We have not become a product of our environment. It's very intimidating to people. It is. It's threatening. Especially when we're not persuaded or influenced by the things that people around us, by what society tells us that we're supposed to want or what we're supposed to do. We live in a real victimized society where I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. I seen this post a while back, and it was a lot of things, you see something that's in relation to what your mindset already is, and some people just don't know how to put it out there. So, the post was in relation to I think it was a girl and a lady, and she was talking about her grandmother used to tell her that she was always why she didn't check on her as much. And I've said this throughout my life, and this more so what we have been through and what we will continue to go through at this stage in life with the things I've been able to self-educate myself on and connect things around me. And thinking back of some of us through our entire life. I didn't get it then, but I get it now. Which is, people don't check on the strong people. Or if they do, it's very seldom. They don't check on the people who do what they're supposed to. The family members that just get shit done. The ones that doesn't always need something. The kids who aren't always into shit. It's not even funny. The employees who do what they're supposed to. The people who are disciplined, not just motivated, or you go through a phase where it's kind of like working out. I mean, be clear about this. I'm all about the comeback story. People who get their life together, whether it be drugs, alcohol, any kind of addiction, who've let their self go to shit, mental and physical health. People maybe did some prison time, straightened up their life. Them are compelling stories, and a lot of people like to be a part of those stories. People that maybe couldn't keep a job and all of a sudden finally kept a job. That person in the family, if you got multiple siblings, I didn't. Me and my brother are so far apart, we really weren't raised together. That one that always needs help. Not ever so often. Not the person who moves back home after a divorce. Not the person who loses their job, goes through a tough time, but then pulls himself out of it. That just needs that little boost. We're talking about people that never quite get it together. And it's not always people who necessarily have a drug problem or anything like that. There's people who just don't do shit. And the thing is, what we do is we have to always redirect our energy and our focus to the problem and the people that are the problem. We often do this not for the people who can't do for themselves. It doesn't have a physical or mental challenge or both, or a handicap, any of those things. What we do is we end up shifting our focus because the people won't fucking do it. That's the truth. You know right now, listen to this, who these people are, and whether they're in your family, in your circle, or they're you. So I just want to put this out there. I want to do a long podcast on this. If you're not only physically disciplined, but really mentally disciplined, at this point in my life, I tell people this, with the type of training I do, I probably don't have the strength, physical strength, that I did when I was 14 or 15. But I probably quadrupled up on the mental strength. If you're a mentally strong person, disciplined, one of my buddy's brand, now part of this is discipline over motivation. People are motivated in spurts, maybe motivated for a couple of weeks, maybe motivated a couple of months, sometimes a couple of years. Those of us who've been consistently who the fuck we've been our whole life, but we have not thrown in the towel. We have not gave up. We have not decided to be a victim. No matter how it's fucking frustrating, no matter how tough we get, it takes us double, triple as long to do shit because we didn't get the plug right in. We didn't have the excuses. Anybody out there, mental discipline, consistency. You do what the fuck you're supposed to in life. You do what the fuck you're supposed to with your children. You don't always need something. You don't throw in the towel and people come to your rescue. All across the board. No one really gives a shit about any of us. They don't. The only people it resonates with is people like us. That's why most of my circle is not people I know. It doesn't mean that some of those people aren't mentally disciplined and consistent throughout their life. I'm just saying it doesn't resonate with them, and this is why a lot of us are the less than 10%. You have to find people that then gravitate to you naturally instead of trying to force relationships, because people like to suck you in and bring you back in. People are too busy with the problem, and the people that do what they're supposed to often always get overlooked because it's expected of us. Any of that little story I was telling you, and I posted it too, was the girl, and this applies to anybody. Y'all use your common sense to understand what I'm saying. The grandmother said, I don't really have to check on you. You've always been responsible. I don't worry about you. You do what you're supposed to. And I found myself, not only did this get done to me when I was younger, I often realized I've even did it to one of my children, and at one point didn't know I was doing it, and I've even did this, and I've since corrected it. I didn't realize that. That's the point, is reflect and correct. It's a big difference than living in the past. When you're evolving and you're growing, man, it's threatening to people who's not. That's the truth. Because it's unfamiliar territory to them. You're more comfortable with you where you're at. And the grandmother said, I just don't have to worry about you. I don't have to check on you. You do what you're supposed to. I'm proud of you. And that means a lot. Then she asked the mom or the parents, I guess it was, and just kind of skimming through the story. And the mom said the same thing. Then she asked her employer. The employer said, I don't have to check on you. I don't have to come behind you. I don't have to worry about that you're not doing what you're supposed to. Went on down the categories of how it is, and finally that person said, stop. You don't think that we matter too? You don't think that we just like someone to check on us? Even if we need something, we're not gonna say we need something. It's just lets you know that we matter too. See, the people that do what they're supposed to in this life, and the people that never throw in the towel, the people that never give up, they go overlooked. This is true within families. If you look at usually the kid that won't do for themselves or always has the problems, the ones who do what they're supposed to often always get the focus. So it's like this. If you have a person that has a trouble staying clean and all of a sudden they get clean for 3 months, they make a big fucking deal out of it. But the people who are never dirty, who never do drugs, maybe the same children in the same family, don't even notice or suspect that. The person who never works or doesn't have a job or can't keep a job all of a sudden gets a job and they're super fucking proud of them. The dad who maybe only sees his kid on the occasion, takes his kids to go do fun shit. And there's women out there like that too, but it's just the truth. It's more common among men. That does what he's supposed to do. He's a fucking phenomenal dad. I used to say this all the time about people I know. He did what the fuck he's supposed to. That's what he's obligated to do. But if a woman does that, she's half-ass mom. Think about this shit, man. You know if you're that person or you know this in your family. And if you don't address it, it doesn't matter if it's your parents or grandparents that you don't want to piss off. If you don't say anything, then you're part of the problem too. It doesn't matter how pissed off they get. Somebody's going to deal with that problem at some point when the elders are not here. But that's what I'm saying is it gets, whatever they do good, people are so accustomed to them not doing what they're supposed to that it gets amplified and glorified, encouraged that they're doing good. But people who just consistently do what the fuck they're supposed to all the time hardly gets any acknowledgement. We're going to talk more about this later. I got a lot of notes on this because I think there's a lot of people that don't know that they're these people, that they get overlooked, and what makes them, and this is what it does when people aren't supporting you. Believe me, I get it, because almost all of my support is not inside the community. People that I've never met in real life, mostly. Part of the reason I'm down here right now, doing what I'm doing, and like I said, I never say names unless that's what we've already talked about, what I'm doing, has a lot to do with some network that organically manifested itself of a wonderful people that never even lived in my community I grew up in. They don't even know nobody I'm connected with. Just to put that out there. There's a lot of people that get frustrated and tired because no one's acknowledged them, no one's supporting them, and I can relate to that. That you do what you're supposed to, and the people who just throw something in there that there'll be normal shit, day-to-day shit you're supposed to do, and it gets applauded like you did something great. Let me tell you, man, any of you, a lot of people don't understand that that's just the way it is. That's why you have to connect with people who are like you as well, even if it's non-family members. Because in this life, it feeds and coddles and protects the victim and the weak, the needy, not the ones who really need it, the ones who won't do it. And often when you're extremely disciplined and you take care of your priorities and do what you're supposed to, it's almost always overlooked until it's too late and you realize you've overlooked these people your entire life. But just to tell you, no matter how much it gets overlooked, no matter what, no matter how no one acknowledges it, you got to keep going. You got to keep doing it, because the thing is you're probably going to have to separate yourself from these people anyway.